The origins of the Palace of Versailles. The story of the Palace of Versailles begins long before it became the symbol of royal power we know today. The name Versailles can be traced back to documents from as early as 1038. In one such document, a man named Hugo de Versailles, the lord of the area, is mentioned as a signatory. Back then, Versailles was a small village with a modest castle and church. It was run by a local lord, and its location on the road from Paris to Normandy gave it some prosperity. However, disasters like the plague and the 100 Years' War severely impacted the village, leaving it almost destroyed and its population greatly reduced. It wasn't until 1575 that the village of Versailles began to see a change when Albert de Gondi, a wealthy Florentine who gained favor at the French court, bought the land. Little did he know, this acquisition would set the stage for one of the most iconic landmarks in history. The beginnings of the chateau. In the early 1600s, the story of Versailles took a new turn. Albert de Gondi invited King Louis XIII on hunting trips in the surrounding forests, and the king quickly grew fond of the area. In 1624, Louis XIII ordered the construction of a hunting lodge on the site. The building, designed by Philibert Le Roy, was a small, simple chateau made of stone and red brick, with a modest roof. Just 8 years later, Louis XIII took the next step. He purchased the seigneurie, or lordship, of Versailles from the Gondi family and started expanding the lodge into something more grand. The vision of Louis XIII. When Louis XIV, the Sun King, took the throne, he was already familiar with Versailles. As a young boy, he had hunted there, and the memories stayed with him. He saw the potential of Versailles not just as a hunting lodge, but as the perfect place to establish his royal court. Louis XIV's vision was grand. He wanted a palace that would not only symbolize his power, but also serve as the heart of the French monarchy. By the 1650s, the plans for Versailles began to take shape. On a map from 1652, we can see the layout of what would eventually become the magnificent chateau. The design included a central building flanked by wings, surrounded by a moat, with an entrance court marked by 2 round towers. Gardens were planned around the palace, with fountains and beautifully laid-out parterres. This early layout was just a glimpse of the immense palace that would rise in the years to come. Why Versailles matters. The Palace of Versailles wasn't just a home for the royal family. It became the center of political power in France. For over a century, it was the stage where history was made, where royal decisions shaped the future of the country. But it wasn't just about grandeur. Versailles was a symbol of absolute monarchy. The kind of power that Louis XIV famously said came from God. It was a representation of his rule and the system that kept him in control, far from the turmoil of Paris. So the next time you see the majestic Palace of Versailles, remember it's not just a building. It's the story of a vision, of power, and of a country that would be forever changed.